Hello and welcome to our public webinar today. We will give it 1 or 2 minutes just as people are beginning to sign on before we start. So thank you. Thank you for joining us, and we'll begin in 1 or 2 minutes. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and begin some housekeeping. Again, thank you for joining us today. As a reminder, Anthony Clark, our guest speaker today, will not be able to give legal advice. He can answer legal information questions, so you are welcome to put that into the chat or the Q&A. We will look at both. And we will get to that at the end of the webinar. Again, he cannot give individual advice, but he can talk about questions about the law or any other information questions that you have. So let's a little bit about community legal services. I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Anthony. I think this is your first slide. Am I correct? And Anthony is an attorney in our consumer unit. Go ahead, Anthony.
Hi, Anthony Clark, consumer attorney here at Community Legal Services, and thank you for joining us for our monthly information webinar. And this month we wanted to talk about some of the opportunities and risks that older Americans face in the information age. And it's mostly good news. We can use technology, all of us, but especially seniors who may tend to get isolated as time goes on and children grow up and grandchildren come along and people move away. Isolation is a very significant disadvantage for elderly citizens. And staying in control of your finances is something that technology aids, but staying connected is very important as well. The top threats that we've seen in the consumer unit at Community Legal Services are coming mostly by the telephone, text, and email. And we'll talk some more about how to protect yourself from that, or help your senior family member protect themselves from that. There is a spike of impersonation by fraudsters and scammers impersonating family members or impersonating agents from the government or companies attempting to assist or resolve problems on behalf of consumers. Impersonation and identity fraud are and continue to be major risks. The best defenses, we'll review some of those very simple things that seniors and all of us really can do to defend our privacy and our assets. And we'll also show you some reporting options. If you see something, say something, and these reports can turn into action. And we'll go over some of the ways that we're all using internet in everyday life and how that would benefit the lives of our seniors. And we'll talk some about security and privacy, some of the essential steps. Next slide. And Pam,
Sure. I will take away just a little bit about CLS. We are a nonprofit law firm that we are dedicated to advocating, litigating, and educating on behalf of our low-income communities. We are in 5 different counties, are Maricopa, Yavapai, Mojave, La Paz, and Yuma. But if you're joining us today from any other county in Arizona, no worries because we have 2 sister organizations that handle the rest of the state. Southern Arizona Legal Aid to our southeast and DNA Legal Services to our northeast. Again, we are a free law firm. We provide individual assistance, anywhere from advice to direct representation in court. But we also do, like I said, a lot of educating and advocating. So if you are a caseworker in an agency and you would like us to talk on any of the areas that we practice, we are happy to do virtual or in-person outreach and talk about the types of assistance that we do or do know your rights clinics in each of our areas. So our areas include all civil law. We do not practice criminal, consumer, like we're going to be discussing today, education, employment, especially unemployment, wage and hour, and we represent farm worker employment issues throughout the entire state. Family law, really focusing on survivors of domestic violence. Housing, really focusing on tenants and homeowners who are at risk of losing their homes. Healthcare and economics, set-asides of criminal convictions, and tax. And we do federal tax issues and not state tax issues. I'll show you at the end how you can apply for services. And now I'm handing it back to Anthony to get us started.
Oh, thank you, Pam. Staying in connected and in control. We're hearing and seeing a lot about e-commerce. Really, there's fewer and fewer ways to do anything that doesn't involve purchasing by the internet or using a form of electronic payment. E-government, electronic tax returns and vehicle registrations and voter registrations and things of that nature, smartphones and the internet being available really in your hand at all times allows us to manage and protect our money and property and information. At the same time, it exposes us to some risk, and that's the concern that we want to try to focus on and bring some guidance on. Most seniors are using small smartphones. So the power is there in their hands, and also the risk. I think it's fair to say that a lot more people do business and stay connected and manage their affairs and don't get scammed than do. So I think it's something we can all safely say we need to embrace just to compete in a very resource challenged world at times. People are competing for resources, and we need to leverage our access to information and technical tools to allow us to do the same thing, to survive without too much risk necessarily. But the internet, the thing that we've seen repeatedly in the consumer unit is that it allows us to avoid unnecessary travel, and allows us to stay very closely connected with friends and family, show our faces, and share our stories with folks on a regular basis. And it gives us access to information, and information gives you access to benefits, and we can manage essential services from our home or wherever we have the internet without having to travel to the institutions. Of course, with this comes some risk. There's always someone trying to take advantage of any vulnerabilities, and so we want to give attention to that as well. Next slide, please. The top threats that we see over and over that end up leading to some hardship or some injury, financial or otherwise, to someone's affairs seem to be coming from the telephone. Through text messaging and email scams are the most prevalent. And very simply, we say hang up. If you get a phone call out of the blue that doesn't necessarily relate to anything that's going on with you, and if it's concerning any of these things, there's a high probability that it's a malicious actor attempting to get some information from you that they can use to get to your bank account, your credit card, your real estate. And so if they contact you about tax collection, if you don't owe any taxes or you owe a modest amount of taxes, it's probably not the IRS that's contacting you about the taxes. Insurance sales, there are probably some fine insurance sales people out there, but there also seems to be a pretty brisk business of getting people to change insurance companies by talking to them and just keeping them company and helping them make those changes. Refinance, it's a business, so they're not really doing you any favors when they call to refinance. They're going to make money. You may need to take money out, but if you're not in the market to refinance, probably doesn't help anything to start that conversation by phone. Talk to your local bank or credit union if you're interested in refinancing. Investment and financial opportunity. This is as old as the sun. People calling you to help you get rich quick. Nigerian princes and things like that. Uh, Gift cards. If you hear anything about sending a gift card or sending something by Western Union or Walmart Pay, that's probably a sign that these people are up to no good. If you get a call from a distressed family member who needs money, needs bail money or other monies, obviously that can be a very a stressful moment, and you might be tempted to react quickly. But there's some common sense things that you can do to protect yourself. Contests and prizes, that's ripe territory for malicious actors, and odds are, if you didn't enter the prize competition, you've probably not won. So if you didn't enter a prize or a contest, then that's probably a scam call. And getting contacted by someone you meet on social media, uh, you want to be careful about that as well. Next slide. Impersonation and identity fraud. One of the things that we recommend you do is to refrain from sharing too much personal information that would help people read it back to you and seem to be familiar with you, like your date of birth and your relationship to other people on social media, and name of your pet, little clues that might keep family in the trust circle if they know these things. But if you put it on the internet, then everybody knows these things. So we want to be selective about that. Um, Getting friend requests from people you don't know on social media, it may seem like the right thing to do to become part of that community and add those people. But sometimes even with people you think you might know, it's probably better not to immediately accept those requests and think about it and do some research. And there's people out there who make a living just befriending people in order to defraud them at some point. So don't be shy about turning those down if you don't know the person specifically. Um, Identity theft, not so common anymore, but still a problem. But it goes back to being able to pull off an impersonation of you based on personally identifying information like date of birth, city of birth, mother's maiden name, high school, pet's name, things like that. Real estate title fraud. We'll talk some more about uh, uh, a service that is available through the county recorder's offices in Arizona that will alert you if you're a property owner. You can sign up for it. We'll tell you more about it, but you want to become aware if someone is recording something that would affect your real estate. And then maybe worst of all these things, because it's so immediate, is if they manage to get a debit card from you, a debit card number, or a bank routing and account number, then those withdrawals can occur on your bank, and they may occur repeatedly. Once they've been set up, then they could be coming out every month. And so naturally, you've got to be vigilant about looking at your bank account. But best practices don't give that out very quickly if they're asking for it. You got to be a very specific reason why you would pay by phone and give out that kind of credential other than through the payment site. Okay, next slide. Um, Scammers create false identities to gain your trust and get digital access to your banking and credit. The grandparent emergency, there's been a lot of that going on, calling about bail money. The grandchild is allegedly confined somewhere, needs bail money, and you got to be careful about that. Maybe ask some questions that only a family member would know. Getting unusual or unexpected contact from government offices like the IRS or Social Security or Medicare, Department of Revenue, any of those, it would be very rare for them to contact you directly if you don't have any pending business and expecting a phone call from them. It's probably not from them. So our advice on that is when dealing with the government, if they call you, look at the telephone number, but uh, do a little research on the internet and get a published number for that office of government and call them back if you have any doubts. Technical support scams. We need technical support because we don't know exactly how to operate many times these machines, and so having some technical support is key to embracing the information age. But now there are fraudsters out there who may guide you to a web location to install remote access software so that they can allegedly fix your machine, come in while you're there and make changes to it. And that is enormously helpful, but in the wrong hands, in the hands of someone who's scamming you, that is potentially disastrous. So we say if you didn't call asking for technical support, there's probably going to be no one legitimately calling you to tell you about updates and things that need to be done with your equipment. So we say don't give out that control except very sparingly and with purpose. We also hear about utility companies, their names being invoked by callers, even visitors calling with the power company or the phone company to talk you into changes. And ultimately, there may be a fee moment opportunity there for them to collect payment information from you. So if you're not working on something with the utility company, it's probably not the utility company calling you. Fake fraud alerts. Now, on your banking, we're going to tell you that with your bank, with your major bank, your Chase, your Bank of America, your Wells Fargo, you can sign up for activity alerts so that if something comes through on your bank account that you're not aware of or that wasn't expecting, you become aware of it and you can arrest it and correct it. But otherwise, there may be occasions if you get an alert about your bank account that doesn't look like the alert from the bank or from your credit card, that doesn't look like the alert from the card, maybe even a phone call. You should be suspicious because there is some of that activity. Fake prize alerts are pretty common, pretty old, an old style fraud to call you and tell you you've won a big prize and then engage in a lengthy series of inter exchanges to collect your prize that would perhaps ultimately lead to some sort of a payment moment when they get payment information. And then, of course, the romance and sweetheart scams. This goes back to staying in touch with your elders. They need the communication. That's probably the biggest component of this is keep talking to the seniors in your lives and they'll reward your lives and you can reward theirs and maybe keep them out of trouble. Next slide, please. Door-to-door sales. It's very difficult to turn down someone knocking at your door. You at least want to see who's knocking at your door. But odds are, if you don't recognize them and you weren't expecting someone, then it's someone who's there to sell you something, and they may be selling you something that has value and worth. But there's enough of fraudulent activity out there that anyone that comes cold calling at your door, you should regard with considerable caution. And something we run into a lot is that folks, particularly seniors, just don't know that marking on a tablet, marking on a digital tablet, or approving a DocuSign email has the same legal effect as putting your fully written name in pen and ink on a contract. Uh, so be cautious about those folks who might present you with a tablet or send you an email asking for you to approve a contract or agreement because it is binding. The thing we get all the time is, I didn't sign anything, but I didn't sign anything. Marking approval on a tablet, even marking the X on a tablet, can signify acceptance of a proposed contract. And of course, if it's on the tablet, you might not have a reasonable opportunity to read through the tablet, to read through the contents of the contract to better understand it. And then you're faced with the terms you didn't understand later on when they come to collect. Asking you to pay in advance, uh, don't do it. Upselling and feeder scams, very common problem that we see. You call them to come fix a leak, and before you know it, you have waste, excuse me, you have mold control and hazardous materials removal teams in your home, and they have upsold you on something else entirely, and they end up making an insurance claim and get thousands of dollars out of the upsell. And finally, liens. If the work that they're promising involves any sort of repair or installation on the home, there could be a lien recorded with the county. If this transaction involves financing, a lien could be recorded with the county that would affect your title if you go to sell or refinance the home. So be wary of the door-to-door salesman. Next slide. Best defensive is to be proactive. The best defense is to be proactive. I would say the number one thing that we see our clients don't have that would really, we believe, help them is caller ID and spam detection. If you have caller ID and you don't recognize the caller, then you can elect simply not to take the call. Um, Spam detection and call blocking uh, does the same for you, except it screens the calls. In essence, it looks at who's the caller, and do you know them? And if you don't, it may block them for you, or it may display a message on your phone that says likely spam. And so then you can simply not take the call. And all major cell phone carriers provide this service. You just have to sign up for it, and it is, for the most part, free to sign up for it. You'll never get scammed by the call you don't take. So the next big point we want to, or the big opportunity for users, consumers everywhere, is to get on the do not call list. We have in the US something called the Do Not Call list, and you can find it at donotcall.gov or at this telephone number published on the screen and on the internet. And it is what it sounds like. If you get on this list, and it applies both to cell phones and landlines, if you get on this list, then telemarketers are prohibited from directing their pitches at your phone number. So we would recommend that as well. And of course, the easiest one is if you get a sketchy caller and you're not sure why they're calling, and they talk like they know you, but you know they don't. Just hang up. If it's important, they'll call you back, or maybe go on the internet and look up a published number for that company that's allegedly calling you, and then you call them back and make sure you've got the people that you believe you're talking to. And of course, Don't answer the door to unknown visitors. Posting a no solicitation sign may help cut down if there's a pattern in your neighborhood from those people visiting your door as often. Okay, next sign. Next slide. Uh, Early warning at your bank, Bank of America, Chase, Wells Fargo, you can sign up for banking alerts that would alert you anytime your bank account is under a certain balance or with a particular size of transaction. You can receive an alert right on your smartphone so that you become aware of anything happening at your bank that you haven't authorized. And the same is true for credit reporting agencies, Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. You can sign up for credit change detection so that if something hits your credit report, a new reported liability that you weren't aware of, maybe you didn't sign up for it and it turns up on your credit report, you'll get a notification and then you can look at your credit report and see it and take appropriate action. And if you have become the victim of identity theft or if a credit card has been compromised, certainly if a credit card or debit card's been compromised, you contact the issuer and tell them to cancel the card so that the fraudsters don't continue to use your card. But you may also want to file a fraud alert with the credit reporting agencies, especially if it looks like a card has been created in your name. That is, they've managed to get enough information to actually take out a card in your name. You'd want to file a fraud alert with the credit reporting agency to shut down any further attempts by that person. And then, as we mentioned, each county in Arizona has the title alert service where if you're a property owner there, you can sign up and anytime something's recorded that would affect your title to real estate, you'll receive an email telling you about it. All right, next slide. Um, in the family emergency calls, it's very difficult to separate yourself from the emergency at that time, but maybe something as simple as asking some information from the caller that only a family member would know uh, would help you identify someone that might be trying to defraud you in that connection. Anytime people seem to have urgency in their messaging. If they're saying this is time sensitive, it's got to happen quickly, and there's money involved, think twice and hang up and call back on a published number, etc. Um, Now, on the remote users of your device, giving remote access to your devices, one of the most effective things that we've found is for a family member who uses the internet to offer to help older family members who have not learned to use the internet by remote access. That is, your senior family member can share their computer screen with you wherever you are. But that's only for you, and it's only on a one-time basis, and they would have to share it again if they wanted to share it again once you end that session. But in that way, you can talk to them by phone and navigate around the screen and show them how to use the icons and the switches on the mouse. And that's a very effective way of educating any family member about what they can do with the internet and how to be careful with the internet. But if it's a technical support call, number one, they aren't going to call you. You're going to call them and ask for technical support. And if they don't, and if it's not you calling them, you should probably hang up and do otherwise. Talk about it. Finally, again, to friends and family, any unusual requests for money or access. Next slide, please. And reporting, you can report suspected senior abuse to the Arizona Adult Protective Services hotline, and the telephone number's on the screen. The Arizona Attorney General's office also has an Office of Elder Affairs for financial exploitation and a task force against senior abuse, TASA. Their telephone numbers are published on the screen. And in an emergency, call 911. don't hesitate to report anything you think threatens health or safety. Next slide, please. The National Elder Fraud Hotline is also displayed here. And the IC3 Internet Crime Complaint Center is a very important source of what is the newest fraud and what new scam techniques are cooking out there. Don't hesitate to dial 1-800-CALL FBI if you think you're the subject of an attempted fraud. Next scam. Next slide. Using the internet in everyday life. We use it to communicate. We use it for text messaging, email, chat, document access and sharing, getting access to documents and then sharing them with others who need it, bankers, lawyers, government agencies. We do this by internet. We're using the internet right now to have this conference. It's hopefully helpful. Next slide. Banking, being able to look at your bank account 24/7 and monitor exactly what's happening at your bank is extremely important. Managing your insurance and claims and utility accounts, government services, motor vehicles, public records, deeds, courts, and agencies, getting news from various sources. And telemedicine is very effective and important in the lives of seniors today. And ultimately, some legal research can be done on the internet to great effect. Next slide. Security, having security cameras around your home is very helpful, and a person in the family who needs some help and assistance, you can see their cameras for them and watch them with them. Free streaming, save on your cable bill. We've seen lots of people save at least $100, maybe $200 a month by giving up their cable box and going to free streaming. Tremendous money savings in the area of reducing the need for travel with home shopping and free delivery. Choosing the right rate plan will save you a lot of money. You have to study your data from the utility company a little bit to choose the right rate plan. And then the biggest money saver I've seen that's enabled by internet is a smart thermostat for people living in Phoenix, Arizona, because it'll adjust the thermostat to keep you cool and save you the most money without you ever having to get up and look at it. All right, next slide. The biggest obstacles that we've seen people expressing is the business of passwords. People are afraid they won't remember their passwords. Couple things. Number one, you can reset your password. So if you don't remember it, you can reset it. But also your device can remember. Your browser, especially Chrome, the Google Chrome browser has a password manager that remembers your passwords when they work, and they keep them in memory. So you don't have to go around remembering all your passwords. They're remembered in your password manager. Of course, that has its risks as well. But adopting a standard that has the correct uppercase, lowercase, a number, a special character. If you kind of come up with an old standby, it's probably safer than not to repeat to some degree the basic password on various sites, and then when you change it, change them all as you go through, if and when you change it. But I don't necessarily believe you have to have a separate and distinct password for every website. Now, the second part, which should give us some comfort, is two-factor authentication. And the way I think about it is it's like a secret handshake. When we used to have boys and girls clubs, you'd have a secret handshake. Well, two-factor authentication is sort of like a secret handshake that allows the user to get to their resources, their banking, their information, whatever that is. But it involves two steps, not merely a login and password, but another step on top of that, which is usually an email to you, providing an additional code, or a text to you that provides a code, or it could be a personal identification number that you've set up, a short 4 or 5 digit number, and it could be just a pattern on your smartphone that you draw on your smartphone. But that two-factor authentication throws a lot of people, even experienced users run into some challenge adopting that, but it's necessary and it keeps us safe in the information age. The next slide. Internet access for our conclusion and takeaway, the internet access is good. It helps seniors manage daily needs and financial affairs. A trusted family member with experience can help with smartphone or computer basics. And everyone should defend their smartphone to protect their personal data and access to important information and resources on the internet using a screen lock on your phone at all times so that when you're not using it, it locks everybody out until you open it up again. That's important. A lot of people don't know that. Um, Getting on the no call list, the best call you can get is the one you don't get. So get on the no call list. Use a spam blocker. Hang up on telemarketers and unfamiliar callers. Be vigilant for threats targeting your bank and assets. Be very reluctant to give out debit card and bank routing and account information. Be proactive, use fraud prevention tools and monitor your account and document and report suspected fraud. And next slide. That's it. Thank you, Pam. Back to you.
Great. You can put questions, I think, in the Q&A right now. Meanwhile, I'll tell a little bit about how to reach us. You can, if you would like to apply for services to get legal advice, like I said, anything from legal advice to at other times we can provide more than legal advice and direct representation depending on the situation. You can call us at 602-258-3434. And again, we can only provide legal advice if you qualify for our services and your issue falls within our priorities. And that is from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Monday through Friday. In Maricopa County, you can also apply for services in person. On Tuesdays from 9 to noon, we are in Peoria. On Wednesdays, 9 to noon, we are at Native Health, and that is at Central and Indian School. And on Fridays, 9 to noon, we are in Mesa. Again, you can do that in person, bring your paperwork, you would apply for services. Again, you can look on our website to see the types of areas that we practice and the ways that you can qualify for services at CLS. I will see if there's any questions, and I also would like you to know that our next public webinar is Thursday, December 18th, and that is on nutritional assistance and the work requirements. That'll be at noon on December 18th, and you can sign up for that the same way you signed up for this webinar. Okay, I do not see any questions right now. But if you have questions in the future about legal information, you can always email us. I want to thank you, Anthony, so much. I learned a lot. That was very, very helpful. We will have a copy of this on our YouTube channel so that people can refer to it later. Thanks,
Thank
and
you.
have a good day.
Bye.